Since the discovery of the victims in the parking lot that morning, officers have been working very diligently, collecting evidence, interviewing those persons that may have information to lead us as to the person or persons that may have been involved in this crime.
How difficult is this case going to be solved with no eyewitness per se?
Well, right now, we're not aware of any witnesses. That may change at some point. There has been a great deal of evidence that was collected at the scene. That evidence has been processed and is continuing to be processed. And as I said a moment ago, the officers are working toward trying to formulate an opinion as to what happened and who was involved with it.
And how many people have y'all had calling in giving y'all some tips?
We have received information. I don't have an exact number of the number of calls, but with you mentioning that, I would encourage anybody in the community that has not already spoken to law enforcement, if you know any information relative to this case, if you would call the Muscle Shoals Police Department, call Crime Stoppers, or they could even call their local law enforcement. We're reaching out, and we do need the community's help in being able to solve this crime.
So are you saying you're still kind of at square one? Do you have a working theory developed?
No, we're beyond what I would consider square one. The officers are working information they're getting. They are working leads that they've received. They are getting information back from the evidence that was collected. So we are making progress. However, we're not at this point able to identify a person of interest or name anything or a motive at this point.
How frustrating is that for knowing that there are two families with small kids in this case they want answers, they're looking for closure, and we has not been able to give them that right now?
Absolutely, it's frustrating. As we've said before, any incident of crime in our city is too much. The ultimate crime is the loss or taking of a person's life. We want to be able to solve that crime as quickly as we can, but by the same token, we need to act as diligently as we can, and in the preparation for the case to be able to do that. But the sanctity of life and the taking of that life is very high with our department, with our officers.
You don't have any idea what were they doing? Any notion of what?
I don't have any information to speak to that at this point.
Do you know anything about the relationship between the two of them? Friends?
I do not.
Was he on probation or parole?
I'm not aware of that.
I know we talked about it before the press conference, but autopsy
Sure.
results, that information is not really public.
No, it has not. At this point, there is, as we've said earlier, there is a huge amount of evidence that was collected at the scene that was being processed and is continuing to be processed at this point. And all of this, unfortunately, takes time to be able to get that information back.
How many people were at Jody's that night when that happened?
Pardon?
How many people were in the restaurant?
I don't have an exact number. I know there were several people inside the business.
They were all interviewed.
I'm sure they either were or have been or will be.
Speaking of it taking a lot of time, all the tips that come in, I guess your investigators are taking each tip one by one and tracking them all the way through to see if that doesn't.
Correct. Every bit of information that we receive, there's a set of eyes that are looking at it, trying to see if they've already received that information, if it's connected to any information that they already have, or if it would lead them in a direction either to a person of interest or a motive or any information that they would be able to conclude what transpired that evening.
Chief, are you looking to any outside agencies for help in the investigation?
We are, the investigators have spoken to as we've said before, with the proximity of the cities being what they are, crime is relatively fluid in our area. It will flow from one jurisdiction to another rather easily. And yes, we have reached out to other area agencies, and they are in contact with our investigators, and we've received help from the other area departments and continue to do so.